Good morning. Good morning. I want to start talking right now. Okay. So I read that article about the emerald cockroach wasp, and I was like, oh, that's gross. I can't tell the Vesties about that, right? But I changed my mind and I want to tell you about it because I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. I don't know. It's kind of creepy and kind of gross. I think I just want to test the waters and see, like, the tolerance of the Vesties, right? Like, if you guys are like, oh, that's creepy, like, I don't like that. I'll never go into this type of topic before, but, like, I do kind of have, like a morbid aspect to my personality where, like, I like reading about cursed stuff, right? So I'm going to test the waters here. I'm going to tell you about, like, what I learned. This is something that I didn't know about, and I just learned about it yesterday night. And then if it's too creepy, you don't need to be shy. Just tell me, like, yeah, that's a little bit too creepy for me, and then I'll adjust. You know. We're gonna jump right into that, and then we'll do like a normal like free chat where I'm just like hanging out with you guys. Okay. All right. Like mini lecture. The emerald cockroach wasp. I actually already forgot where they live. But it's a wasp, and it reproduces by zombifying cockroaches, and then it lays its eggs like on the cockroach, and then its larva eats the cockroach alive, like while it's just like sitting there. It's like freaky as heck. Now the reason why it gets creepy is that, like, how the wasp does this is that it stings the cockroach and it like paralyzes it for like a couple minutes, right? And then it stings it again in its brain. It's a wasp that performs brain surgery on its victim. Yeah, like the way that it was described in what I was reading was like, this is effectively brain surgery. It like lobotomizes a cockroach. It stings it in the brain, and then it removes its escape instinct, you know? It basically turns a cockroach into a zombie, right? And then it kind of like takes it by its antenna and leads it into a hole that it's prepared somewhere. It just leads the cockroach into the hole, and then it lays its eggs on the cockroach, and then it closes up the hole, and then it just leaves. Yeah. It's terrifying, right? This is super general. Like, I read the entire Wikipedia article, and it goes into the chemical composition of its venom and how it does this, but it's like, yeah. Isn't that terrifying? I don't know. Magni was talking about cordyceps, right? Yeah. Magni was talking about how cordyceps are like absolutely terrifying. This is kind of similar to that, right? Nature is terrifying. It's incredible. Nature is messed up. Kind of, yeah. So I kind of like fell into my own imagination, and it's like, could you imagine? I don't know. Like, could you imagine like a human-sized wasp that does the same thing, you know? Nope. Oh no. I don't know. It just, while I was reading it, it made me wonder, cause it's a wasp. It can't learn how to perform brain surgery from Mama Wasp and Papa Wasp, right? So it's just hardwired into its DNA to know how to do that, which is terrifying, right? I think you and Des could make one. Is Des still in here? Des, you wanna collab on this? It's all instinct. Yeah, right? It's an animal that could learn. It's an animal that instinctively knows brain surgery, you know? The wasp was actually quite pretty. Yeah, like that's why it's called the emerald cockroach wasp, right? Because like the coloration of it is actually like pretty, you know? Yeah. I read that they attempted to introduce it into a I think they attempted to introduce the emerald cockroach wasp to Hawaii as an experiment to see that if it could like change the ecosystem and lower the population of cockroaches in Hawaii, and it didn't work because the amount of cockroaches that they would get rid of was too low, and it didn't work. Yeah. Magni hates bugs. Yes. So I guess I don't want to put words in your mouth, Des, but does that mean creating a human-sized wasp that can perform brain surgery with its stinger is out of the question? Like you're gonna soft no that? That's a soft no. Des, Magni? Des? I'm guessing because you dislike insects, that's off the table. Like you're just not interested. It's like that movie Mimic. We should watch Mimic. I know exactly what movie you're talking about, and I've never seen it. But I remember thinking, I want to watch that, and I never watched it. Des, let's watch Mimic. Hunter x Hunter. Oh, dude, it's just like Hunter x Hunter, right? Des, if you don't like bugs, how did you deal with the Chimera Ant arc? Like, everything about the Chimera Ant arc was like nightmare fuel for you, right? Just like absolute nightmare fuel, right? I enjoyed watching them get crushed. I remember reading the Chimera Ant arc. I remember reading it as it was being released, and it went on like several very long hiatuses. Yeah. The land of giant insects. Yeah. Oh, we're talking about Hunter x Hunter. I love Hunter x Hunter. It's a really great series. I was just thinking about how I don't exactly know where I fit in, but I think the other three members of Tempest, they kind of remind me of the main characters of Hunter x Hunter, but I think a lot of people will disagree with Des, like who I see Des as, but the other two, they'll be like, I could see that, you know? Yeah. I see. No, I actually think Axel is Leorio. I see you guys saying, "Oh, you're Leorio." I see Axel as Leorio. He's got a really good heart. He's got a loud mouth, and he doesn't exactly like think things through. I see Axel as Leorio. Yeah. And he cares a lot about his friends. Yeah, you know? I see Altare as Killua. Because Killua's like a really cool character, right? And he's friendly. But he's kind of nuts, right? Like he's kind of crazy in the head. You know what I'm talking about? I don't really like to bring it up because I might be wrong, but my gut instinct is like something. Sometimes Altair gets a little weird, you know? Have you guys noticed it as well? I hope it's not just me. I feel like sometimes Altair goes a little weird, you know? Yeah. And this is the one where like everybody's gonna be like, no, you're wrong. Completely wrong. I see Gon. I see Gon in Des, you know? Although assuming that Gon is similar to Jing, like does that make sense? Like if Gon grows up and becomes like Jing, I could definitely see Des and Jing, right? Jing freaks like Gon's father. Okay, here's my reasoning, okay? All right, here's the explanation. I see people saying like explain, please explain. Please explain. Please explain. I'll explain it, okay? Okay. there's like I forgot what arc it was in, but somebody mentions like why Gon is actually like quite a dangerous person, and it's because Gon doesn't really understand the difference between good and evil. He's only like interested in things that are interesting, right? So he could either he's pure in that way where like he could either be good or evil, right? Do you guys remember what arc that was in? There was an arc where somebody was like, Gon is not good. Like, people think that he's a good kid. Like, he's good, right? But he's not good. He's pure neutral. And he doesn't really care about whether things are good or bad. He just cares about things that he's interested in, right? And I think that kind of sums up Dez, you know? That kind of sums up Dez. Dez is, if nothing, like, impartial. You're either interesting or uninteresting, right? Was it the Chimera Ant arc? Where in the arc was that? So I think I could see Dez as a child, like in his childhood, being like Gon, but now Dez is a fully fledged adult, so now he's more like Jing, right? Now he's more like Jing. I don't think I'm like Kurapika because I don't see myself as being like particularly edgy. Although, my favorite Kurapika moment was where he's like metagaming how to make sushi, and he sounds more and more intelligent as he's like deciphering the clues and looking at the context, and he's like, okay, because of this and this and this, I know the sushi has to be like this, right? And then at the very end, when like at the very like end of his theorizing, he makes the exact same thing as Leorio, you know? He's very meticulous, but like the end result, he's not really that much more intelligent than Leorio, right? Do you guys remember that? I could see Dez becoming like Jing freaks. Not like Illumi. Illumi scares me. Illumi is terrifying. I think in general, mind control kind of scares me as a concept. If you guys want a little bit of information about myself, I actually I really dislike anything that throws off the cadence of my mind. Does that make sense? I don't like drinking alcohol. I do. I usually drink alcohol socially, but I don't particularly like the feeling of it. I had my wisdom teeth taken out a while ago. A long while ago, actually. And they gave me like pain medication, but that super threw off basically the cadence of my thoughts. And then I took that medication once, and then I didn't. I just dealt with the pain. Yeah, in general, I just don't like it. I don't like it. I guess that's kind of why I'm caffeine sensitive. Now that I'm thinking about it, it kind of makes sense, right? Like, maybe I'm not particularly sensitive to caffeine. It's just, I don't like it when I think faster or slower, right? I like thinking exactly at the pace that I'm used to thinking, right? And caffeine kind of speeds up my thinking process. And if it's by too much, it's kind of like, I'm not supposed to think at this speed, right? And then if I drink alcohol, it slows down the way that I think, and it's like, I don't like this. Like, I'm supposed to be able to think faster. Yeah. I don't want to think faster. I don't want to think slower. I want to think exactly the way that I normally think. So Illumi in particular might be the Hunter x Hunter character that I am the least comfortable with. Yeah. Illumi is kind of terrifying. No overclocking. Yeah, in my youth, when I was building computers, I used to be very, very into overclocking, but lately I've been going like stock. And I've done builds before where I've actually underclocked. Like, I undervolted my build because, like, it's not active right now, but I dabbled in having like a NAS. Do you know what a NAS is? A NAS server computer? Ooh. We're having dropped frames. Is it on my end or is it on someone else's end? That is the question. Lil Nas X? No, absolutely not. I think we're good. It's not dropping any frames anymore. Anyways, NAS stands for Network Attached Security, not Network Attached Server. NAS. Network Attached Storage. There we go. That's the correct way to say it. It's just a computer. Yeah, it's just a little PC that I keep in my closet, and it lets me store, yeah. NAS is great when it works. Yeah, I set it up. It wasn't too expensive. I ended up like underclocking everything so that it would run quieter and at lower temperatures. Is it still lagging? It is. What is going on? I'll let you in on something that I do before every single stream that I start. I restart my modem and I restart my router. Yeah. I think YouTube is having a fit. Can you guys do me a favor and check someone else's streams? Check to see if like it's just my stream or if it's somebody else's. I don't know. Not lagging here, it must be regional. I don't think it's because I see the drop frames on my end. I see it. Yeah, I don't know. Ah, man. There's not really much I can do, I think. It must be on my end. I restart my internet connection before every stream to try to head off issues like this. I actually suggested Axel to do that. I suggested that Axel power down his modem and his router before every stream and then power it up again. And then that would like head off any potential issues, right? And he was like, no, it's fine. I'm good. It's like, all right, dude. It's the EN curse. It might be. I don't know. It's lagging for me a bit in EU. Yeah. The mimic was a cockroach. It's probably on my end, and I don't know what I can do. Yeah. What the heck? Why did my kilobits per second spike to 9K? I should have it set to 6. Yeah. It's in my nature to kind of beat myself up over technical issues, which is why I'm always like trying to head off any issues, right? I don't really think I could control this though. I did everything I could on my end where I'm restarting the modem, I'm restarting. Yeah. We will try to continue because it looks like some people are okay. It looks like some people are not lagging too much. Yeah. If it gets really bad, we can just call it early. Yeah. Anywho. Thank you. I really appreciate that you guys are understanding and I should take some of my own medicine and my own advice where it's kind of like nobody should strive for perfection, right? Because it's impossible. Like nothing is ever going to work perfectly all the time. Things will go wrong. And the sign of a strong person is someone that can adapt to less than ideal situations and not let it get them down, right? Right? I'll do my best. Did I enjoy playing Left 4 Dead 2 yesterday? I'm very bad at the game, but I had fun. I did. There's something about Left 4 Dead 2 I think that's pretty timeless. And if you guys... If there are people that have never played that game before, but they play modern games, did you guys notice that there's no hipfire in that game? That game came out such a long time ago that hipfire didn't exist. I mean, not hipfire, aim down sights. ADS. Like, aim down sights is kind of ubiquitous in first-person shooters, right? Aim down sights is like in every single game now. That was not the case. There was a time in gaming history where no first-person shooter had aim down sights. Everything was hipfire. Yeah. It did exist in Call of Duty. I think Call of Duty might have been the first game to have ADS. And then like every other game kind of hot take, ADS ruined shooters. That's like a blazing hot take. I prefer hipfire, but I don't know if I agree with that. ADS is like kind of cool. Okay. For those of you guys that agree, for those of you that don't like ADS, can you try to convince me? Like in one short sentence, like what about ADS is bad for the state of first-person shooters? What is ADS? ADS is aim down sights, where in a modern shooter game you can right click and then you like aim down the barrel of the gun, you know? You're aiming down the sights of the gun. Yeah. Camping? It promotes camping? I got bad news for you, buddy. In Counter-Strike 1.3, people were camping. I think at any time there's a competitive shooter game, a competitive multiplayer shooter games, like there's going to be a significant amount of people that camp just nonstop, right? It's just going to happen. Yeah. So I don't really agree with the argument that ADS started or even made camping more popular. I think it was like always only cowards use ADS. Only cowards use ADS. ADS tunnel visions you. Yeah, it slows the gameplay. Yeah, that might be true. I mean, you guys, Counter-Strike was incredibly slow-paced, right? There was no sprinting in the original Counter-Strike. Kind of like Valorant. There's no sprinting in Valorant, right? Valorant just feels like a really, really slow game. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I think it's fun in its own way. But Valorant is definitely a very, very slow-paced game because there's no sprinting. There's no, like, you know? Yeah, no sprint, no ADS. So what? I think ADS is fine. You know? I don't prefer it, but I don't think it's necessarily bad. Man, Titanfall? Okay, specifically Titanfall 2. I think Titanfall 2's multiplayer is just Apex but better. And it's a shame that nobody plays Titanfall 2 anymore. And everybody plays Apex. That said, I love Apex. I love it, right? It's a good game. It's a really fun game, right? But why play Apex if you could play Titanfall 2 multiplayer? I don't understand. Can someone explain it to me? I guess you have to pay for Titanfall 2, right? Titanfall 2 is not free. Apex is absolutely free, right? Okay, I've convinced myself. That's why Apex is more popular, because it's free. Titanfall 2's multiplayer is perfect. It's like the perfect game. Yeah, Apex is free and it's more like BR, which is like a hot game style. Yeah. Free stuff equals fun. Titanfall 2 came out at the wrong time, too. Like it had too many rivals? Or it was ahead of its time? What's BR? BR is Battle Royale. It's the style of game where X amount of players, usually anywhere from 60 to 100 players, drop onto like one gigantic map. And then there's a bunch of rings that close. Like the map gets smaller and smaller because there's a ring, and if you're outside of the ring, you take damage and die. And then eventually, like, one team wins, right? Like PUBG, was PUBG the first BR? I don't know if that's, was it? It's the first BR that I've ever played. Yeah. Fortnite is a BR, yeah. Oh, H1Z1. Yeah. PUBG sort of was. DayZ mod. Yeah. Minecraft Hunger Games. I'm okay with BRs. They're fun. Titanfall 2 is just a good game. It's just a really good game. It's a shame that, like, nobody really plays it anymore. I don't know. I think the main reason that a Battle Royale is not a good game is that if you don't like camping, Battle Royales incentivize camping, right? Can everybody agree? Like even the BR fans that are watching right now, can you agree with me that there's no other type of multiplayer shooter that incentivizes camping more than a BR, which is a very good reason to think that Battle Royales suck ass, right? Like, if you don't like campers, like, which, okay, so there are like Western FPS players, right? Like in North America and Europe and stuff like that. North American style competitive shooters, they tend to have a lot of campers, right? They tend to have a lot of campers. Like, is that a messed up thing to say? I don't know. That's just what I've observed when I'm watching like competitive FPS players, like in the West. And then if you look at competitive FPS players in Asia, like specifically the way that Japanese players play Apex, those guys are like hungry for kills, right? They don't camp. They just like run around and kill as many people as they can. And so like I kind of prefer watching Asian Apex players, right? It's the opposite? Maybe. I don't know. I don't see many campers when I'm watching like a Japanese Apex player. Like, have you watched Estelle? Man, that guy goes hard. That guy's hungry. Yeah. Maybe for the tournament scene it's different. I don't know. I haven't watched that many Asian like Apex tournaments, you know? I was just watching shoot. What was the Apex tournament that just finished? Like a week and a half ago? NLCS or something like that? NLCS? ALGS. There we go. ALGS. There's a lot of camping in that tournament. Because what I'm talking about, there was a lot of camping and there was a lot of like people that were like hiding for points and stuff like that. Like their squad got wiped and there was only one person left, and then he's just trying to hide for points, and it's just kind of like, I don't know how I feel about that. There's a lot of money at stake. I understand. Competitive has a lot of camping. Yeah. You know, it might just be that I've never seen an Asian Apex tournament, you know? There was a big like VTuber tournament in Japan, right? Axel could probably tell me about it. I remember there used to be a very, very big Apex tournament. Is that what it's called? V-Psycho? Is that what it's called? I never watched a single round of it, you know? It's called V-Psycho. For those of you that have watched it, was there a lot of camping and like points hoarding? What was like the camping situation in V-Psycho, like when it was a thing? V-Psycho was very campy. Okay. It was very campy. So much camping. Okay. So maybe I'm just wrong because, you know, I haven't seen enough of it. It's just in any type of tournament, there's going to be a lot of campers. Yeah, a lot of camping. Lots of turtling, securing buildings. Yeah, okay. Then I'm wrong. I admit that I'm wrong. I guess it's just I'm comparing tournament play in the West to streamers, like solo queuing streamers, like in Japan. Estelle called them out. Oh man, that's the senpai. That's my senpai right there. Estelle was public enemy #1 due to drilling. I've watched a clip of that. I watched him bullying someone in a truck, in one of those like trucks, They're like hiding in the truck, and he's just drilling the crap out of him. And the scenes in that clip was going back and forth between the people camping and then Estelle just messing with them. But I think like one of the only things that I'm proud of is that like I'm never really hesitant to say that I'm wrong, right? If I'm wrong, I'll tell you that I'm wrong, right? And I guess from what you guys are telling me, even in Japan, when you're playing competitive Apex in a tournament, like it's still very campy, right? There's a lot of camping going on, which is that's my bad. I haven't seen enough tournaments in Asia to you know. Yeah. Bully Estelle. What's the first MMO you ever played? Oh, it might be Ragnarok Online. I played Ultima Online because I had an older relative. I had like a cousin that played it, and then I played with them, right? But I didn't understand Ultima Online. I didn't understand what Ultima Online was, and that game was ridiculous, right? That game had open world PvP. Yeah. So, yeah. It was ridiculous. Oh, I love Star Wars Galaxies. That was a good MMO as well. Yeah, I played that as well. I played... Ragnarok Online was probably the first... No. I played on IRO, the official server. Yeah. I don't think Ultima Online should count because it wasn't my account and it wasn't my character. My cousin just taught me how to grind for him. My cousin just like sat me down at his computer chair and was like, press these 3 buttons. So I don't think that counts as me actually playing an MMO. Yeah, I was a living bot. Yeah. Oh, RuneScape is really good. I played RuneScape, but I never got very good at it, you know? RuneScape is like the king of grindy games, right? Yeah. Yeah, like original RuneScape. Yeah. So Ragnarok Online was probably the first MMO that I actually had an account and I played. And my main memory from Ragnarok Online was I played a hunter and a priest. And then for my hunter, I really wanted the evil wing hat. It's like a headband with like devil wings, right? And when I was playing, only one monster in the game dropped it. It was called like a Devaruchi or something like that. And there was one area in the clock tower where like 5 of them spawned. And it was like I staggered them so that each one would spawn like 1 per minute, and then I would be able to easily kill them. And I grinded that until it got the drop. Took a very long time. I think it took me 4 months of grinding to get that helmet. And then I got the helmet, and then people kept making fun of me. Because that helmet gives you 2 strength, or 1 strength, right? The helmet is useless for hunters. The helmet doesn't do anything for hunters. Hunters don't need strength, right? So I would be like walking around with the evil wing helmet, and they would be like, dude, that's a crap helmet for hunters. Like, get something else, right? Yeah, it's just for looks. Yeah. But it took me so long to grind for it. I didn't use it for townwear. Like, I would use it when I was like hunting MVPs with my guild. I would just like go around, like, yeah. And people would always call me a super noob, right? They would call me a super noob because I was wearing equipment that doesn't benefit my character at all, right? Yeah. Mixed feelings, but it took me 4 months to grind for it, so it's kind of like I'm gonna wear it everywhere, right? Yeah. Yeah. This was before Glamours. I don't know if they ever added it to Ragnarok Online, but this was definitely before. Yeah. Drip before everything. Look good equals feel good. They were jealous of your hat. Yeah, right? It was... Can someone calculate how many kills it takes to get that on average? I think it was 0.02% drop rate. 0.02% drop rate. 0.1? Okay. So what is that? Like how many kills does that take? 5,000 kills? That's not too bad. That's not too bad. 5,000 kills is not too bad. Assuming I staggered them properly. Assuming that I staggered them properly, that's only 5,000 minutes. Will you be playing more Zomboid on stream? Absolutely. Yes. I'm playing more Zomboid. 83 hours. That's over 100 hours. Listen. It was at that point in the game. At that point in the game, to my eye, it was the most beautiful helmet in the game, you know? They added a bunch of other cool helmets and hats, right? But at the point where I was playing it, in my opinion, it was the coolest hat in the game. So it was just worth it to me, you know? Zomboid single player, I'm gonna play until I die. And then I'll probably move on until I can get a multiplayer server started. And then I want to play with the boys, you know? Like, I think I'm gonna play Zomboid until I die, and then, like, until my character that I've created, until Chad Dunnington dies. I want to see it through. I want to see how far Chad Dunnington can go, and then once he perishes, then I will pull back, move on to different games to try to keep it fresh, and then when we get our multiplayer server set up, then I'll start playing again with the boys. Yeah. I feel like talking about MMOs now. So after Ragnarok, what did I play after Ragnarok? There was an MMO that I played between Ragnarok Online and World of Warcraft. No. That's incorrect. I played Ragnarok Online, and then I played Final Fantasy XI, and then I went from Final Fantasy XI to something, and then something to World of Warcraft. Yeah. Was it Lineage? I don't remember. I don't think it was Lineage. I don't think so. But I have to tell you guys, I have a very heavy Final Fantasy XI bias. To my mind, Final Fantasy XI is probably my favorite MMO ever. Okay, let me tell you about Final Fantasy XI. That game was Stockholm Syndrome, the MMO. That game just destroyed you mentally and physically for 8 months, and then it gave you like a Joyous. It gave you leaping boots. It gave you an Emperor hairpin, and you were like, okay, I could play it for another 8 months. It was the most brutal MMO. It was incredible. It was fantastic. I can tell. Alright, so I could immediately get anybody that has never played it uninterested in ever playing it. You want me to do it? You want me to tell you how I can get you uninterested in never playing it? By explaining one simple mechanic, okay? When you die in Final Fantasy XI, when you die, you lose a flat 10% of your experience points that it takes for you to level. Not like what you have total, like what it takes for you to level. Does that make sense? So, for example, if it takes 10,000 experience points for you to level up, you die and you lose 1,000 experience points flat. So if you're 500 experience points into your level and you die, you level down. Yeah, you can level down in that game. That game was incredibly brutal. It was, yeah. On top of that, after level 10, oh, my model froze. Just a second. Yeah, froze. Restarting now. I'm not done talking about Final Fantasy XI. I want to keep talking about it. Okay. After level 10 in the original Final Fantasy XI, you could no longer solo level unless you're a Beastmaster. The Beastmaster was the only class that could reliably solo level. Every other class, you needed to go into a party of 6. Not only did you need to level in a party, the party had to be exactly 6 people. No more, no less. It had to be exactly 6 people. Yeah. There was no like, oh, let's just roll with 4 and we can just make it happen. You had to roll with 6 people, right? Yeah. I heard they changed it. If you want to give Final Fantasy XI a shot now, they made it soloable. They made it like very friendly, right? For people that just want to play the game and enjoy it at their pace. But when I played Final Fantasy XI, you could not level at all past level 10 without joining a party of 6 people, right? So, okay, that sounds terrible, right? That sounds terrible. Can I sell it to you why it was actually a good thing and why it made Final Fantasy XI, in my opinion, the finest MMO ever made, and no other MMO will ever come close to it? Okay, let's talk about it. In Final Fantasy XI, a massively multiplayer online RPG where there's a strong, in theory, an MMO should have a strong social element, right? Your reputation meant everything in that game. Your reputation in Final Fantasy XI meant everything. If you trashed your reputation and you got a reputation for being cheap, for being cowardly, for AFKing too much, for like getting bored and leaving a party, for doing the things that like you'll see left and right and center in World of Warcraft and any other MMO, if you acted like a dipshit in Final Fantasy XI, nobody in the party that you screwed over would ever party with you ever again, right? So very quickly you would find out that you just can't play the game anymore because nobody wants to play with you. Like your reputation actually mattered in that game, you know? And it was very much, it was just good. It was just a really good game. The community in each server in Final Fantasy XI was so incredibly close-knit, right? It was just a very like close-knit community. And yeah, how do you clear a bad reputation? Well, you would just have to start a new character. You would just have to start a new character. Yeah. They added server transfers after I quit. So you could either just transfer servers or you could make a new character. When I was playing, you just had to start a new character. Yeah. And it's cool because it was entirely community driven, right? There was no need. Well, I mean, there were people that got reported and banned by GMs, DMs, GMs, right? But a lot of times the people that did not play nice, they did not play well, their punishment was entirely community driven. It wasn't like you reported them to a GM and then they got jailed, right? You know? It was just like they would put their flag up to try to grind, to try to try to level up, and they just wouldn't be able to level up because nobody would party with them. Like they had a reputation as someone that was they just AFK'd too much, right? Yeah. The community was really, really close-knit. It was a really good experience, you know? Everything in that game was ridiculously hard. Just absolutely incredibly difficult. Basically, the game is just bullying. Kind of. Did you fight Absolute Virtue? Okay. Absolute Virtue was never beaten in my time. Because we didn't know how to beat it. Absolute Virtue was out for about 2.5 years, and nobody in the world had ever figured out how to beat it. I believe I looked up a guide on how to beat it, and it involves using 2-hour abilities at certain stages, right? It involves using, yeah. I did fight Absolute Virtue, and we got absolutely destroyed. Yeah. There were items in Final Fantasy XI that nobody had gotten yet. The relic items didn't exist by the time I had quit. Nobody had ever gotten one. Ever. That still means you beat C. I don't think I beat C. I don't think I did. Yeah, I quit right around the time, right before Treasures of Vat-Ergen came out. Yeah. So why did you quit? I'm going to tell you why I quit. Alright, so it's very difficult to level. It's very expensive. It's very difficult to level. Like, your reputation matters everything. It's very painful. The difficulty was like out of this world, right? I played Ranger. My favorite job in Final Fantasy XI was the Ranger, right? And the Ranger, not only did you have all the other difficulties, it was the most expensive job in the Not only did I play the most expensive job to level, I played the most expensive weapon type to level. I leveled Gun Ranger, and I leveled off of silver bullets. I shot my way to level 75 with like full merit points. Like, I was like fully kitted out with my Ranger, and I used a Hellfire +1, silver bullets, like everything, right? I think I probably dumped around like 20 to 30 million gil, and then I just had like an incredibly powerful, like, not incredibly powerful. Like, the meta in Final Fantasy XI is very tilted towards, you just need 2 samurai and then a bunch of black mages and summoners. The black mage summoner meta for H&Ms was just way too powerful. So Rangers didn't really have too much of a... I could kind of keep up. You know? Anywho. So I played Ranger. It was incredibly expensive. I spent like 30 million gil getting it up there, and then I kitted it out, right? And then they nerfed the Ranger. They nerfed it, and it became really bad. Really bad. I think, if I recall correctly, the total damage reduction after the patch was like, they reduced Ranger's damage by like 30 to 40%. Yeah, they reduced Ranger's like effective damage by 30 or 40% in one patch. And then so like I was just kind of screwed, and then I quit. Any old school Final Fantasy XI players remember that? The Ranger nerf? Like, here's the thing. If they reduced it 20%, I think I would have still kept on playing. Because at a 20% nerf, we're still competitive with Samurai, you know? We're still competitive with Samurai, but they nerfed it so much that Ranger was below Samurai and Dark Knight. And Warrior, yeah. I remember the Pentathrust nerf. I remember that. Yeah, Dragoons got shafted pretty hard too, but that was before the Ranger nerf. I remember that. Wow, you're taking me down a trip down memory lane. Let me explain the Pentathrust nerf. Dragoon used to have, I think it was a 5-hit weapon skill. Dragoon used to have a 5-hit weapon skill called Pentathrust, right? And each hit that you landed would give you the full amount of TP per hit, right? You need 100 TP to use your weapon skill. Yeah, 18 TP return. Yeah, it used to be like really good. So you could just like spam Pentathrust like over and over again. And then they nerfed it so that it was the first one would give you full TP, and then every additional one would only give you 1. Yeah. So I remember the meta for Dragoon was Dragoon Subjob Samurai, because Samurai gives you increased TP gain, right? Clemps, did you play 11? Oh, so good. So good. Yeah, Dragoon Samurai. Well, like before the skill chain nerf, not skill chain, before the weapon skill nerf, multi-hit weapon skill nerf, like almost any class could self skill chain if they sub-job Samurai. Yeah. I did play 14. I did. I'm afraid I'm going to I'm gonna piss off the Final Fantasy 14 enthusiasts. I played the alpha and the beta of Final Fantasy 14, and it was a very bad game. It was a very bad game. The alpha, beta, and then 1.0 launch was very bad. And then I just couldn't play that game anymore. And I know for a fact that Realm Reborn, like 2.0 onward, is an excellent game. It's the best MMO in the world right now, probably, right? It's the best MMO in the world, but I was there right at the beginning of 14 during the alpha and the beta test, just because I loved 11 so much, right? Yeah. So the same reason why I can't eat mayonnaise, even though I know that mayonnaise is a pretty high tier condiment. Mayonnaise is delicious, but I can't eat it because it was spoiled for me, right? Like I ate spoiled mayonnaise and my brain is like, remember that one time, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Mayonnaise can definitely spoil. Yes. Yeah. Take a while for me to forget this slight against Final Fantasy 14. Yeah, I mean, did you play 1.0? 1.0 was incredibly bad. How could I explain the issues with 1.0? Nothing worked. Nothing worked in 1.0. Like, literally everything was broken. Crafting didn't work. Crafting was a mess. Combat was a mess. Like, mobs didn't spawn properly. They copy-pasted the terrain in the original world. Like, it was really bad, right? And then, when we were playing the beta, we were on the forums and we were reporting the issues with 1.0, right? We were invested in the game. We wanted it to do well, so we were reporting the issues that we saw in 1.0 during the beta and the alpha, and we kept getting either no response or a response that everything would be fixed in time for launch, right? Either no response or a response that, like, Final Fantasy 14 at launch would have all of the issues fixed and it would be a really good game, right? And then so I bought into it. I bought the special edition. I bought like the collector's edition of Final Fantasy 14 1.0, right? It launched and then the game came out and it was exactly the same as it was in beta. They didn't change anything. They changed nothing. It was the exact same game as in beta. I think if I recall, the only thing that they changed was that they added like colors to the crafting like minigame. There was a crafting minigame, and because it wasn't color-coded, it was very confusing, and nobody knew how to craft, right? And then when they launched, they added the color coding for the crafting system, so like crafting was a little bit easier. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing that they changed. Man. In 14's defense, it's the most miraculous recovery in gaming history, right? Can you guys think of a game that started lower and ended higher? Because even as somebody that does not play Final Fantasy 14, even I know, like, probably as pretty close to objectively as possible, it's the best MMO right now in the world, right? No Man's Sky, I remember that. I watched a documentary about No Man's Sky. I remember that. I remember, like, as I was watching the documentary, what came across to me was that it wasn't the actual people that were making the game. It wasn't their fault. It was the people that were marketing the game, right? Like, the people that were in charge of marketing No Man's Sky they just straight up lied. And the actual people that were creating No Man's Sky were trying to tell them, like, no, this is not what our game is about. It's like, so you're telling me It's a gigantic universe-sized world, and everybody is in the universe. Like we never said that. No, that's not what it's about. It was just a marketing issue, right? Yeah. The marketer was the developer? No way, really? Wasn't it the director that lied? Yeah, somebody was like lying. And then the people that were actually like programming the game were desperately trying to let people know, no, this person doesn't know what they're talking about. Yeah. I think it was Internet Historian. Yeah, I watched that. It was good. Okay, so people that have played both No Man's Sky and Final Fantasy XIV, which one do you think is the greatest recovery story in gaming history? My gut instinct is probably still 14. Right? Yeah, because No Man's Sky is a good game now, right? But it's not the best game. I don't think many people would put like No Man's Sky in like a universal top 5, right? Top 10. But I think most people would say Final Fantasy XIV is like easy top 10, like of all games. And of all MMOs, it might be number 1, right? It might be like the number 1 MMO right now, right? So I do think 14, you know. Oh, Guild Wars. Guild Wars 2 is a really good game. Yeah. I wish I could play 14, you know? I wish. The Old Republic was pretty good. The Old Republic took a really good swing at like making a story-driven MMO. It was good. But my heart kind of belongs to Star Wars Galaxy, SWG. Star Wars Galaxies was also like Extreme Pain, the MMO, where you had to grind for what, like 2,000, 3,000 hours to become like a Jedi? Yeah. My heart belongs to Galaxies, unfortunately. Old Republic, I don't know. HoloPro, yeah, you know. Like I said, it's just an issue of like my experience with 1.0. Right? Galaxies was a beautiful mess. It was. I am a little bit sleepy, and like I think I mentioned it in my tweet, right? Like I didn't sleep at night because I was trying to figure out Axel's connection issues. It's something called a NAT issue, a NAT issue. I was trying to troubleshoot Axel's issues with connecting to multiplayer games, and then it slowly wound over to the Emerald Cockroach Wasp. Yeah. We're gonna try to fix Axel's issues, you know? Yeah. I think I'm gonna attempt to sleep before my evening stream. Yeah. Tonight I'm going to scrap a PC. Oh, I wanted to mention something. I fiddled around with the idea of doing like a camera stream so you could see the computer that I was working on, but still getting used to everything, right? And I don't know that I could set it up properly in a way that it's good to see. So it's going to be no hand cam. I think I need to practice with it and like set it up properly, you know? Yeah, like it's not going to be a hand cam. It's not. So pretty much it's just going to be a just chatting stream where I talk about computer parts, you know? I'll probably talk about my history of building computers. I'll give you like a sneak peek. The first computer that I ever built, I still remember the 2 main stats. So whenever you're building a computer, people ask, what was the CPU, what was the GPU, right? I remember the CPU and the GPU of the first computer that I ever built. And I think it had a 20 gigabyte hard drive, if I recall correctly. It had a Pentium 4. It was a Pentium 4 and a GeForce 4 Ti. Could you imagine that? Like, this GeForce 4 3090, right? It was a GeForce 4, the number 4. It was a GeForce 4 Ti, and it cost me $600. I remember exactly how much it cost me to buy that. Yeah. just the number 4. GeForce 4 Ti. And it cost about $600. And I built that computer specifically for Final Fantasy 11, I think. I remember I was playing Counter-Strike and Diablo 2. I was playing Counter-Strike and Diablo 2 on a GeForce 420 MX, which did not cut it. Did not cut it for Final Fantasy 11. I built that myself. I remember that. It belongs in a museum. Yeah. Anywho, I'm feeling really, really sleepy, so I think I'm going to take a nap. Thank you for hanging out with me. I apologize for the connection issues. I don't really know what was causing it. Reset the router, reset the modem, so it wasn't that. It might just be ISP issues, which is like, you know, I'm not going to beat myself up over it because there's nothing I can really do about that. Yeah. Thank you for watching, everybody. Appreciate it. I'll be on tonight at 10 p.m. PST, and I'm going to be scrapping a computer. I'll have it in front of me, and then maybe you can hear, you know, the tinkering noises, but I'll mostly just be chatting about building and building computers, etc., etc. Yeah. Tired. Okay. Good night, everybody. Should I say good night? I don't know. I had a GeForce 460. Okay. Take care, everybody. I'll see you tonight. Goodbye.